Now let's look at the characteristics of great co-founder relationships. So how do we go about choosing the right co-founder? From an investor's perspective, here are a few things that investors look for. Investors don't look for people who are best friends forever, BFFs. They look for people who are professionally connected and work well together, but are not too personally connected. Investors look very hard for complementary skills in founders who can challenge each other openly and make each other better. They're great collaborators with complementary skills that they respect with each other. Investors usually don't invest in married co-founders. They're just too close. This is a longer conversation we'll have later. Investors also want to make sure that founders have a shared vision of success. Things that are important to one founder should also be important to the other, so that they're headed together in the same direction over the long term. Also, founders should have very similar work ethic and should be similar in compatible stages of their life. Experienced investors are known to have valuable insights when it comes to identifying patterns in successful startups. In a study conducted on venture capitalists and their perspective on investing in teams, one of the biggest differences between experienced and novice investors was a significantly higher priority on long-standing co-founder relationships. It's important to note that experienced investors value long-standing co-founder relationships 3 times more than inexperienced investors. The one characteristic for which we find a significantly higher valuation amongst experienced investors is mutual acquaintance within the team. If team members have known each other for a long time professionally, senior VCs perceive a benefit contributing to a higher sense of value than they do with younger colleagues. Sometimes this just isn't possible, as you're a new entrepreneur or team founding your first business. Don't get discouraged, but do spend some significant time thinking through your founding team, how you're going to assess and engineer a great deep relationship with clear understanding, communication, constructive dialogue, and common expectations, including your collective and respective management objectives. This will go a long way to helping investors get comfortable with you while helping you build a successful long-term business from your startup. What are characteristics of excellent co-founders? We look for 4 qualities that we define in a balanced team. We say they make a great bet, B-E-T-T. These are 1, B, balanced skills and roles. 2, E, entrepreneurial aptitude. 3, T, talent. 4, T, team dynamic, B-E-T-T. It makes a great bet. Balanced skills and roles in a great team are balanced in 2 ways. They're balanced across skills and across roles that those skills fulfill. We use our hustler, hacker, visionary framework to identify team gaps and to identify which person has which skill for which role. We'll get back to that in a bit. You should have a balance of skills to execute on your startup, and those skills should be aligned with the key roles to be filled by your company. A team of 3 technologists with no business skills or execution skills is unlikely to be successful. This is probably the most common case we see. And please don't think you can tell your investors, we have 4 founding technologists and one of us is going to do the job of hustler for now. That just won't work. You need to ensure to balance out the skills in that team. It's important that you have the right people doing the right job. Entrepreneurial aptitude is difficult to quantify. It's often best experienced in action. Investors use pattern recognition. Remember, we've talked about that. They do that through trial and error, which helps us understand what to look for in founding teams. The more we invest, the better we recognize patterns. You'll be surprised at how good we are at identifying teams and gaps. When we look at a founding team's entrepreneurial aptitude, we look for qualities such as self-awareness and a willingness to listen, comfort and flexibility in dealing with insecure and ambiguous situations, people who are self-driven, persuasive, and determined. We look for an ability to adapt and pivot based on inputs and creativity, as well as being what we call learning agile, talent. You should always aspire to have a team that's the best in the world at what it does. No matter what role a team member fills, each person should aspire to be the best in the world. Each team member should be on par with one another and push one another to pursue excellence in whatever everyone is doing. As the team grows, this will be a necessary consideration in hiring for important roles in your organization. Team dynamics. Building a team is an extremely high-pressure activity. A team must have a strong and productive relationship. It should be dynamic and should possess the ability to commit to one another in the long term. Ideally, a founding team is comprised of a group of people who've worked together before, have known each other for a while, and can have honest, tough conversations with one another and still be friends, so they can move forward in a positive direction. Importantly, they have to trust each other, not just in the general sense, but in that they trust each other to have the skills, capability, and execution chops to get their portion of the business done when they commit to and in the first-rate manner expected. Having a clear and transparent team is critical. If politics and drama come into play early on, those aspects can severely hurt the company in the long run. A great team prioritizes an open and constructive dialogue, a commitment to one another, the ability to move on from conflict, to create success in that company, and enjoy working together. We're really lucky at Capria and Venture Base Camp. We really enjoy working together, and we learn things from each other all the time. We motivate each other and push each other to grow and to excel. We each work hard because we want to keep up with the dynamic achievements of our other partners.